What's up, everybody? Welcome here to PCP Movie Night. Here for November. We're doing November for Lord of the Rings. That's right, Lord of the Rings November here on PCP Movie Night. For the next 3 weeks, we are going to be talking about the Lord of the Rings trilogy, movie by movie, extended cuts. Tonight, of course, we start with the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring. There's my Blu-ray copy that is part of this amazing Blu-ray extended edition set. And I also still have my DVD version where they look like books. And I love that even though it's kind of a slipcase, they kind of keep the same thing going with the Blu-ray extended editions. I love it. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring is what we are talking about tonight. Let's dive into it. We got a great panel lined up for all 3 of these shows, including Jelani. What's up, homie?
What's up? Station. Glad to be here. I also have my copy of the book of Fellowship of the Ring on DVD. I've got all 3 on this setup. I love this film. I love all of them. We will talk about all of them. And I'm so glad we're doing this. I'm very excited.
Yeah. I'm super excited and very glad we're doing this too. We also are joined by Lord Fablemon. It's Fable from One Collection Down. What's up, homie?
I made a promise, Mr. Robbie. A promise to be here tonight.
And I intend to keep it.
How you guys doing, man? Oh, super excited for this one.
Yeah, dude, when I started reaching out to people for Lord of the Rings, all the first people I reached out to said yes. The only person who said no was Verno. And I said, thank God, because I reached out to too many people. So, let's make sure that we keep this clean and lean and mean. Speaking of clean and lean and mean, that makes me think of our best friend from Michigan. It's Link. Steph, what's up, homie?
Yo. Happy to be here. Definitely, I'm always happy to jump on these, but in this one in particular, I hadn't seen this one. It's damn near been 20 years. I want to say the last time I seen this, unfortunately, was around 06, 07. And so in many ways, this was a first-time watch, and goddamn, am I glad that I watched it. They don't make them like this anymore, or hardly.
Very true.
We'll get to that. There is a film that came out recently that is reminiscent of this era, but it's Jesus, man. Yeah, wonderful filmmaking.
Hell yeah. Also joining us tonight is the man, the one potential person who could break up a circle jerk for Lord of the Rings for an entire month. Would be Joe Corallo. What's up, homie?
Galadriel to be here. I haven't, Robbie, I haven't watched Fellowship of the Ring since earlier this year.
Oh, good for you. You saw it in the theater with fucking Ethan, not Ethan Hawke, Elijah Wood. Ethan Hawke is not in this movie.
Red carpet.
Right? He should be. Yeah. Why not? But yeah, so it was nice to get a chance to revisit it again this year. I can't believe you found a group of people on the internet that want to talk about the Lord of the Rings trilogy. Finally, a movie review stream is tackling the often forgotten Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings trilogy. And I am so glad to be a part of this rare internet opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. We a couple of years, last year, we were like, all right, what trilogy are we doing in November? Back to the Future or Lord of the Rings? And the chat voted for Back to the Future. So we did Back to the Future. 2 or 3 years ago, I should say, we did the Godfather trilogy. So this year I was like, you know what? We're finally doing Lord of the Rings, and I'm doing it because of my one friend who is the hugest fan of this franchise. And Jay, you're 100% right. He breaks the dig scale there. But the reason why we're doing this is because my homie, now I have the book for Lord of the Rings. This is all 3 in 1. I've never read this shit. I've never read it. It's super long, never read it. But it was given to me by my good dear friend Brooks, who is a huge Tolkien nut. And I'm excited to do this show for you, Brooks. Welcome in.
And it kind of got pushed back a couple of years. I think you planned to do this in November, the past couple of years, but it always got pushed back by another trilogy.
Or Van Damme.
Yeah. Which I mean,
You're bitter about it,
fair
Brooke.
enough. But yeah, I'm glad to finally get around to watching
look-
this one again. It's been a while.
Right now, Brooks. Okay, you don't have to like throw shade. Just be excited. Just be pumped to be here, and let's have a good show, man.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I that enthusiasm. All right.
What I expected.
So The Lord of the Rings is, of course, a trilogy of novels. There's my copy given to me by my good buddy Brooks. And you know what? I feel like after watching this movie, I'm like, you know what? It's finally time to tackle this shit. I think I'm going to spend November and December with any extra time I have reading through this and hopefully to do a video to like after freshly watching the movies and then reading the novels for the first time to check it out. But J.R.R. Tolkien, I have read The Hobbit because that's not a hard book to fucking read, right? So I've read The Hobbit, but I've never read Lord of the Rings, and I love The Hobbit, and I have always known of Lord of the Rings because of those animated films, right? Do you remember how like they did the Hobbit movie, then they did Lord of the Rings, but they didn't finish it, and then they went back to the Hobbit kind of style of animation to do Return of the King. It was weird, but I've always known of these movies. I've always known of the friendship between Tolkien and C.S. Lewis. And me being raised by Brooks is going to keep getting kicked out all night long is what's going to happen. And that, I'm glad he's last. But I always grew up because I grew up Christian and raised in the Baptist church down here in Alabama. I always had an affection for C.S. Lewis in the Chronicles of Narnia, right? So I've read all that shit, but I knew of his friendship with Tolkien. When this movie first came out in 2001, y'all, almost 25 years ago, this movie came out. When this movie came out, me and all of my homies, we went and saw this. Jelani, were you with us? Like, did we all go watch it together or something?
I think we watched the last one together. We watched Return of the King together.
Okay.
But
I remember.
I think we may have watched it together, though.
It might have been. I remember watching this movie in the theaters. I
I watched it more than once.
I remember being blown the fuck away. I knew of Lord of the Rings, but I had never really been grabbed and immersed, pulled into that world like I was with this movie. When this movie, I remember watching it the first time in the theater and just being like, holy shit, I can't believe this movie exists. It's really difficult, I think, for a lot of people nowadays to put themselves into 2001, except for those of us who were there, right? Movies like this didn't exist, right? You didn't have like grand epic fantasy trilogies that were all filmed back to back to back that were going to come out once a year with so much production value behind it. A lot of us know the history. We are very much aware of these extended cuts and how amazing the special features are. Some of the best special features on any DVD/Blu-ray set are on The Lord of the Rings. They go deep into what made this movie so important, whether it was J.R.R. Tolkien's work, whether it was the way they adapted the script, the way they utilized scale in the movie, all the digital stuff, some of the first things they ever did. There was a program that was created because at the time there wasn't a program to just like create AI operated multitudes of people on a battlefield. And they like somebody at Weta created that software, which is used by everybody and has been majorly updated since then. But like this movie was a feat. What's crazy to me about these movies, all three combined, each one has a budget of just shy of $100 million. Bro, that is fucking crazy to me. You're not making an art house film today on $100 million, it feels like, right? And these movies were incredibly low budget for the scale, even at the time. And even though we didn't have movies quite like this, like we had Phantom Menace had come out, The Matrix had come out, but like when this movie first started getting going, none of that shit existed. And this movie was initially going to be, a lot of us know the backstory. Real quick though, Peter Jackson, who did some of my favorite underground horror movies from New Zealand at the time, Dead Alive, Meet the Feebles, Bad Taste, and then he eventually did Heavenly Creatures, and then he wanted to do this movie. Miramax picked it up. They agreed to do 2 movies, the whole story in 2 movies. Then they said, we can't do 2, let's just do 1. And Peter Jackson said, we can't do that. And they said, we can shop it around. And then they went to Bob Shea at New Line, and he was the last one out of a whole list of people they went to. And he wound up saying, I can do this, but it should be 3 movies. And thank the gods that they did that. We keep losing people tonight.
We're dropping faster than the Fellowship.
Yeah, no shit, we are, man. We're already a Gandalf and a Boromir down, man. Fuck,
Yep.
dude. I thought Link was Legolas, but he's a Boromir, man.
He's definitely Boromir.
Hell yeah, there he is. What's up?
He's apparently Gandalf. He came back.
I could go on and on and on.
Stand up to white.
We know so much about how this movie is made.
I don't think Brooks can come back whiter, though.
No.
He might, dude. By week 3, he might. We could go on and on about how this movie's made. Everybody already knows that. Like Joe said, everybody's covered this movie. It's a big deal. Let me tell you something. On the rewatch, I fucking loved this movie. I thought it held up tremendously well. At the time, I remember it really bringing me into this world and getting me completely enthralled and enraptured by the story, the characters, and where we were going. It hooked me. Then we had the extended cut, which to me is even better. Like, I get why we need a movie at the theater to be at least, or at the most, 3 hours long, not 3.5, right? But man, I love the extended cut. They make some changes from the book. I've never read the book, so I don't seem to mind them. I love all of the performances. I think this movie holds up incredibly well. There are some moments of special effects, mostly compositing, that don't quite hold up as well, but a lot of it does. And the music, y'all know I love this music. This movie has some of the best pipeweed out there in the Shire. Speaking of pipeweed, I'm going to take a hit. Jelani, let me know what you think about the Fellowship of the Ring.
It's special in good times, and it's beautiful, and it's one of those things that I didn't expect to enjoy as much as I did, because I read Lord of the Rings, I read The Hobbit, I read Lord of the Rings like in '99, and when I was, of course, The Hobbit when I was younger, but like I watched these, I've read these books, so I was like super excited when this movie was announced, kind of situation. How we were gonna get like the full epic tale that we did end up getting. This was huge when it first came out. This was like life altering good. And I don't know if I was working in the movie theater at the time, but I went to go see it. I've seen it multiple times. Return of the King I did not watch more than once in the theater. I was like, fuck that. But I got all of them on. I got them on DVD. I bought it on DVD, so I watched it more than once. I have a good history with this. I really love these films. I love the cast that they picked. No, there's not a bad character in this film, in any of the trilogy. There's not a bad scene in any of the trilogy. It's just one. It's like the Breaking Bad of trilogies. If you're gonna be honest, and Fellowship is an excellent start.
Well, if only The Hobbit was the Better Call Saul, but no, it's not.
No, it's not. Not even close. But I understand it. But it's still epic. It's still like it makes you on this rewatch. It still has that tone with me. When Gandalf dies, I still shed a tear. You know what I'm saying? When the Fellowship is formed, I still shed a tear because the way it's formed, the way they act, the way everyone is in this film is just amazing. I could gush over for hours. I'm not a lore baitist like Brooks is. Brooks knows the shit. I read it. I didn't apparently comprehend it like Brooks does. He gets into it deep.
I hate that he keeps getting booted out for this stream in particular because
I
this is
know.
what he's been waiting his whole PCP career for, dude.
That's all he's always
Like,
talking about.
Brooks is the guy is like, well, actually, in the Silmarillion, we like
Yes.
that's Brooks. Like he's that
He
guy. And I'm
goes
like,
into
what a
this.
fucking nerd, dude. Go get high, dude. Like,
Yeah,
what's
man,
wrong with
do
you,
it.
man? He's read
He's
that
supposed
shit
to
way
be a
too many
pipe leader.
times, man.
But it's good. This movie, this film in particular, was awesome, and it still holds up for me. I still appreciate it.
There's a piece of me, Jelani, that actually thinks I remember this being my thought. This movie's the best out of all three, just because of the way it introduces everything and
It's
brings
the
us into
introduction.
this world, right? The music, but like ring wraiths, the Shire, the Hobbits, Gandalf, Lothlorien, Rivendell, letting us see two different versions of elves.
Yes.
It's
Letting us
interesting you say that because I've always held the belief if they never came out with like the Two Towers or Return of the King, this movie would still be legendary. You
It's
know,
still
without
sick.
it.
Yeah.
It would be legendary
yeah.
because, like, the
Be
movie
awesome.
that has a shit ending. Because
I
mean, if they only did this one, it'd be like worst ending of a movie ever.
It's like the Shredder's cat. It's up to you to, do they succeed or do they not?
don't
I guess
know.
at that point.
No
yeah.
kidding, but they do so much work here, and like I love what that you said that because it does kind of stand on its own,
Yes.
right? Like obviously we don't get
It does.
where the story goes from there, but like
No.
it gives us like a complete story. And I know Brooks is very familiar, and I can't wait till he eventually figures it out and then they pop back in. But Brooks is like, I know he understands the story, and they had to shift things around to make it work as a film, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what they changed except for what I've heard from people like Brooks, from brief conversations with other people, maybe including Jelani, and watching videos on YouTube and shit. But I know like Tom Bombadil or whatever the fuck or whatever, like he got cut out, but like people like to like ape on that shit. Like there's one dude who on all of our Facebook posts keeps going, Tom Bombadil's not in this movie.
Bombadil's not in it.
No fucking shit, bro. We all know this already. It's already been addressed, right? And like it wasn't like there's so much to this story that this is a very much a streamlined intro into it, right?
Mhm.
But what I love about it, Steph, and what I think makes it feel so complete, like you were saying, was that it's giving us where we are and where we're going, but also where we've been. It does it so effectually, like
Mhm.
from the get-go. And this
It
might be
does.
how many fantasy, superhero, horror movies, how many movies have we seen where they have to give us this bullshit prologue to let us like get caught up to the fucking movie? This is the best prologue of a movie I've ever fucking seen.
It's
Honestly,
told by
like,
Galadriel.
it's great, dude. It's so
Yeah.
and glad, yeah. And we'll get to it. Fable, what about you? What's your history? What do you think overall about Fellowship of the Ring?
I echo your experience with the movie. I always knew of the books. I think I was even assigned to read the books in school or something like that, or at least Lord of the Rings. I'm like, I'm not reading this shit.
You
No.
tell me I had to read Great Expectations and they told you to read Lord of the Rings and you said no? Get the fuck out of here, man.
Yeah, man. I listen. I can't speak to the book because I've never read it, but I heard it's incredibly boring. I heard a lot of things about this book that's like, I
That's
think
all right.
I'll read a Stephen King book instead. But yeah, I don't even think I did that report. I was like, fuck this shit. Anyway, saw the cartoons. Cartoons were fantastic. Love the cartoons, the rotoscope animation and all that shit. That shit is legendary. But like you, that universe never really grabbed me or pulled me in, or you know what I mean? And then I saw this in the movies, and like Jelani said, I did not expect to be blown away the way I was blown away. This movie is so fucking epic. It's so grand in scale. It's so well done. It's overproduced if you think about it. All the craftsmanship that went into creating this film, it's incredible. it's such a coming out party for a lot of things, right? Like Peter Jackson, he became huge after this movie. You know what I mean? Industrial Light and Magic, the kings of special effects for so many years, were all of a sudden had a competition with Weta Workshop. The work that they did, New Zealand as a place to film movies, and you know, it's like they graduated into this like blockbuster era, and it's been that way ever since. New Zealand is still a hot spot for Hollywood and movie making. And just the impact that this film had. Like, I credit this movie for making nerd culture pop culture, right? Like everything kind of before this. I mean, you know, it kind of started with the X-Men movies in 2000, and you know, we were getting there and stuff.
Spider-Man was like the
Yeah,
next year, right? Yeah,
we were getting there, but Lord of the Rings, the way it was received by the general public, it kind of made everyone a nerd at the same time, and it never stopped, and it just got bigger and bigger. So this was like a shift, like you say, a cultural shift. It's what made our stuff the most popular stuff.
Well, I swear to the gods, dude, like I don't remember a single person in 2001 telling me they didn't like this movie.
Yeah, no,
Right?
absolutely.
It didn't exist.
Yeah, and just like you, as soon as it came out on DVD, had to buy the DVD, and I poured over those.
And then you had to buy it again 6 months later when they came out with the extended cut.
The extended cut. And you know me, guys. You know I love my short, sweet, get to the point movies. This is one of those rare exceptions that not only does the original movie need every minute it has, but give me more. Give me the extended cut. Give me that extra half hour of context and payoff and all that stuff. This movie is beautiful. It's heartfelt. And it's the kind of thing that I absolutely fell in love with as a child, as far as the hero's journey, right? Starting off from a meek or a small place and going on this grand adventure that by the end, you know, you're just completely changed. And I love stuff like this. This is the reason why I play Japanese role-playing games and video games of that sort, because they all kind of come from this kind of thing. This is the genesis of that. And yeah, I can't say enough. I can't glaze enough about this series or this film in particular. Lord of the Rings is a classic.
Hell yeah. All right, Joe, what about you, man? What do you think about Fellowship of the Ring? I know you've seen this multiple times in the theater with Orlando Bloom, with Ethan Hawke, who's not even in the movie, but he's a big fan, I hear. So what do you think about this movie, Joe?
Yeah, so I've been aware of Lord of the Rings for, ever since I was a kid, because of a story about my dad, like right out of like high school, going out to California for a trip and seeing Lord of the Rings in theaters, the 1978 animated one. And
the rotoscoped one, man. That's good shit.
Yeah, no, I love that stuff. So I was familiar with it with that. And then the movies came out, and I remember a friend of mine, Andy, from high school, was really excited about it, wanted to make sure, a bunch of us went, and like a group of us, some of the nerdier kids in high school, and that comes as a shock, I know, to some people, but you just got to take my word for this. And, we went out, and I knew, like, I was aware of it. I was really more familiar with like the Hobbit animated movie. I hadn't, I wasn't really aware of like everything of it. It was really more of a periphery thing for me. But just being aware of it that whole time and seeing it in the theater and that ending and just genuinely being like, whoa, wait a minute. That's where we're ending this thing. And being sucked in from there. I think to build on Fable's point before, like, I think you kind of have to give a lot of credit to this trilogy for making being nerdy cool. I think that might have been the tipping point. because it wasn't like Superman and Batman movies were
became
coming out like
respectable.
the 80s and 90s, and you were still a nerd. You know, that was not winning
Yeah.
people over in the same way. But the Lord of the Rings movies being so well crafted, so well acted, timeless, all these elements to it, like just doing such a good job. You know, it reminded me of when Ocarina of Time came out, because that was like another game that Universal, everyone seemed to like love it. I didn't really hear any, kids when that was coming out at the time bad mouthing that one, and it was popular for years after years. And sort of the same thing with this, obviously to a completely different level. And you had all of these major actors, some of whom were household names before this movie came out, and it's their defining role. For just about everyone who is in this movie in a major role, this is their defining role, and in a way that's more thoughtful. Like, no one is sad that Ian McKellen is known for Lord of the Rings. You will get people who kind of go like, it's a shame that like Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill are mostly known for Star Wars. Like, you would always get that sort of like, it's a shame.
Because Mark Hamill should be known for the Guyver movie, right? Like, yeah, for
exactly.
sure.
The guy, absolutely. But and people like with Harrison Ford, it's like, it's so good that he has other things that he doesn't have to be pigeonholed into, Star Wars and all that. But like here, again, everyone had done some pretty major. John Rhys Davies, like
Christopher Lee.
Speaking of Indy, Christopher Lee, all of these people, and
Elijah Wood was a household name.
Absolutely,
right. It may be the biggest star of the whole
North.
Right? Yeah,
and it's crazy that worked, and we may never see a trilogy like this again in our lifetimes, just the way it was done. The way this was adapted.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I agree with that though.
The way it was shot and all that, like you see it often, and I mean this goes back to stuff like Superman and Superman 2, where like you'll do back-to-back filming, and often you'll do these part 1, part 2s, but like it's so rare to have 3 movies shot back to back and put together like this. Almost impossible. It's happened before with the same director from similar source material and did not work out.
Very true.
It is hard to replicate, but like you can't overstate its importance. This trilogy is going to be like decades from now when people start talking about what defines 21st century cinema. This is going to be at the beginning of almost any book or essay that will be on this subject.
Yes.
Like, no question. People, even the people that bitch about some of the characters not being, or the adaptation not being, one for one, which first off, an adaptation shouldn't be, because whenever an adaptation is exactly one for one, I'm like, well, why did I bother?
Shit. Yeah.
Right.
The
only thing that like is closest to like a one-on-one adaptation that works for me is like Sin City. And it's not
300?
a great film, I would say. You know what I'm saying? So like,
but that's not like being able to adapt something and just make it iconic. It is so rare. Actually, it's almost impossible, really, to think of that many examples of literature being adapted and the extended versions of each movie are the standard
Right. Yeah.
You
No.
can't watch it any other way.
And like not only is the extended
Yeah.
edition the standard, I think you can make a very compelling argument, and this is not in any way to diminish the books, but I think you could make the argument that this is the standard. When someone is talking about Lord of the Rings, they're usually specifically talking about the extended edition of the movies, unless otherwise noted.
Yeah,
if
when
someone
people
like
kept
off the
asking
street-
me, people kept asking me, like, "Are you guys doing the extended cuts?" And I'm like, "Duh." like,
Why would
of
you
course
offend me
we
like
are.
that?
Why would
But yeah,
why would
yeah.
anybody watch it otherwise? Like, we don't have to go to the movie theater. We can stop it. You can go take a whiz. You can grab some snacks. You can grab another beer. You can do another line of Coke if you need to. Whatever the fuck it is, right? You can make
Yeah.
it through these movies now. And we are
I
so
might have not
accustomed to
signed
watching
on.
15-hour television shows, basically, that are all one story.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you tell me we're not going to have like people sitting down for like 10 hours when Stranger Things season 5 comes out, right? It's
Yeah.
not, it's,
They have like
it was
3-hour
very different back in
episodes.
2001.
Yeah.
We didn't do this really, you know, but like,
Yeah,
I don't
for
know.
sure.
Like I even today, people keep going, "Oh yeah, the extended cut, that's like 4.5 hours long." It's like, it's 3.5. It's like, it's
There's
not
like
even-
20
credits are
minutes
a-
of
it's
Yeah,
barely
yeah,
longer than the
credits.
Batman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I need to stop here though, because other people need to be able to talk about this. And I hate the fact that we're gonna have gone over everything and then be like, "Oh, Brooks, you have anything else you want to like throw in?"
Yeah, that's true.
No,
That's
don't doubt my double
That's
dragon
true.
brother.
Let's roll through this. Link, what about you, man? What do you think about this film? I know you got a history with it.
Yeah, man, who doesn't love this film? I saw this film the summer of 2002. I was at a friend's house, and they downloaded some movies from Napster. It's like long story short, everyone else fell asleep. It was my first time watching, but I stayed up and watched it. I was enamored by it. Like, I had read The Hobbit, like you guys. Never read The Lord of the Rings, but I read The Hobbit like when I was like 10. And it was cool. I respected I respected the book, I respected the movie, but it was not something that I never really gravitated towards. But I always respected the shit out of it. Had seen the Two Towers and Return of the King in theaters, and it just pains me to say that I have not seen this movie in so long. Like this is like, I don't, the standard for filmmaking, like from the craftsmanship of the production to the cast of like every actor took this shit seriously, like to the fucking extras, like you could tell like everyone gave this their all. And it just adds to that allure of timeless energy that Joe was talking about. Yeah, I like for this movie, Fable stated this earlier about the running time. I can't help but agree with that. Like when I was like, man, almost 4 hours, I was a little thrown off by this. But when I started watching this, like some of the probably the best pacing I've ever seen in a movie. Like 4 hours, you don't even fucking realize it when like you guys said, when it's done, you're wanting more. You're like, oh
It's
fuck,
3.5, Link. 3.5.
okay, 3 hours and 20 minutes. Sorry to be technical. All right. But still,
348 with credits.
with the credits, yes. Thank you,
You gotta
Joel.
watch all them credits, goddamn you.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? Maybe there's an after credits scene. I don't know.
And we're all like waiting. Oh shit! There's.
Yeah.
I thought I'd hear Darth Vader fucking breathing or something, man. I don't fucking know.
But yeah, this is this is a movie that deserves to be glazed. Like this is like Joe said, when they're talking about like the pinnacle of like filmmaking 100, 200, 500 years from now, like Lord of the Rings is going to be up there. They really don't make them like this anymore, man. Like I can't think of a movie I've seen recently that's going to you can throw on almost 25 years later and it's going to hold up so well.
Yeah.
Like I was joking when I said Dune, like that's got a lot of production, but even there's so many movies that come out on the scale of like Lord of the Rings nowadays have so much CGI that's gonna age terribly. Like even hate to say it, James Cameron's Avatar movies. Like I think he's going a little too crazy with the AI, the CGI and shit. Just the production value on this movie alone is immaculate, man. Like they did, I don't know, like how else to put it. Like, I wish every movie had the passion Peter Jackson put into this movie.
I
It
think
holds.
I think one of the only movies from the early days of CG that holds up outside of this is like Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Jurassic
Like-
Park,
Yeah,
100%.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
Like and maybe some Del Toro stuff, just because like it's about a blend of practical
Yeah.
and CG, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
But Brooks, let's get to you. You're a huge fan. You are the Tolkien guy. What do you think about Lord of the Rings in general? Your history with it. And what do you think about this movie then and now?
Well, like my Lord of the Rings experience goes back to middle school. Like before that, like as a kid, like in elementary school, I'd loved like Robin Hood and like the Arthurian legends and Greek myths and stuff. So I'd always kind of had like I really loved fantasy. And I remember my first trip that my mom took me to the big library in Huntsville, like I think it's called like the Madison County Library. It was like the big library, and I got my library, and The Hobbit was like the first book that I checked out from there. And like I love The Hobbit so much. And I'm like, and I heard like, oh, there's a sequel.
The one outside
Lord
of
of the Rings.
downtown with the pyramid at the top. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
The
Public.
the Huntsville Public Library. Yeah.
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 Love that
Haven't
place.
been in
That's
a
where
while.
that's where I first checked out Dracula, man. So
That's
I
where I first
understand
read comics.
exactly what you're saying.
It's a great
Yes.
library. It had a lot of good books too. I even had like old Marvel Masterworks sometimes, if you're lucky.
They're still there.
They have a really great comic book.
Libraries
yeah.
are always great
Yeah, I like
place
good
for
comics, man.
if people want to get into comic libraries, bro.
Yeah.
Like for
Our
real.
shop really helped build their
They did.
they have a really great comic book section, man. They got some. Anyway, Brooks, go on. I'm sorry.
But yeah, so yeah, like this is a book I fell in love with when I read it in middle school. Like I still remember the first time reading it. And much as I love the book, like I understand like the criticisms of it. It can be a bit, it drags a lot in certain places. It's structured kind of strangely in a way, but like when you fall into it, like you're in it. Like Tolkien's world is like something that like it's kind of an experience you feel like. And I can understand how some people would like not be as into it, but like I loved it, man. Like I remember the moment when I first read the chapter where Eowyn kills the Witch King. Spoilers. I remember the exact moment in school because I was in class reading when I was supposed to be like studying. And I was like, whoa! I think everyone like was like probably thought I was freaking out.
Masturbating or something, man. That's what they thought.
Seriously.
But yeah, so yeah, like I remember when the movie came out, like I was excited, but like at first, like there's a lot of talk about is it going to be one? Are they going to try to do it as one long movie? But then they worked it up to maybe 2 movies, and they finally settled on doing it as a trilogy. So I was glad about that because like they could not have fit the Lord of the Rings into one movie. Like even Peter Jackson couldn't have pulled that off. Like it just wouldn't have worked. 2 movies, maybe it would have felt watered down though. I'm glad that they went with the 3, and then like they have the extended editions that like add all this other stuff into it, so you like have a whole other movie. So yeah, like I remember like loving it in the theaters the first time I watched it. And yeah, like and when I got the extended editions, like it was like that was cool because like when you buy the DVD, you actually get the movie, but you get kind of a new movie, because it fills in some of those gaps. And this movie is really good about it doesn't feel like gatekeepy, like it's something that somebody who's never read the Lord of the Rings can get into. Like it's great how they do that thing in the beginning, where they kind of give you that little exposition dump, but it doesn't feel like an exposition dump. It feels like this epic, like story you're being told, to set up for this other story, and then it like it calms down and back into the Shire. And that's kind of the thing about the first book is that it takes a long time for it to like ramp up to really good stuff because it spends a lot of time early on in the Shire and setting up kind of the idyllic nature of the Shire, which is an important aspect of the story.
In the book, isn't it like 17 years after Gandalf leaves when they find the ring until he comes back?
Yeah. It's like it's been a while since The Hobbit. It's like it's been a good few years.
Well, I'm talking about in the book when he leaves Frodo with the ring. it's like 17 years until he
Oh
comes
yeah,
back.
yeah. After the first time after the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the movie, it's like, was that just a couple of days? Like, what the fuck? He went to fucking Minas Tirith and just went to the library, researched some shit, and came right the fuck back. Like,
I was delayed.
He's going by Eagle, probably, I would imagine. I don't think he had Shadowfax yet. Gonna get that until he goes through Rohan. So
well, yeah, and that's one of those things that it's a change that adds to the pace of the movie, I think.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's like
continue your
the movie
thoughts.
does change a lot of things about the book, but I think it does a lot of it for the better, and it keeps the spirit of the book enough that even hardcore fans like myself can really get into it. And it doesn't people's a big complaint is the Tom Bombadil thing, and as much as I love the character of Tom Bombadil, he would not have worked. He just wouldn't have. The whole the Barrow Downs and Tom Bombadil, that was a good cut. It would have been nice if they could have fit in there, but Tom Bombadil in particular just would not have. He would have derailed the whole movie, I think, for a while. And they probably could have brought it back, but I think it would have. I don't think it would have fit in as well as people think it would have. But overall, a great movie.
Hell yeah! All right, well, apparently we all love this movie. We're welcome to a PCP movie night circle jerk, everybody. So let's get into it. We all love it. We know where we're going. We're running long. So I feel like we're just going to breeze through the rest of this. I'm going backwards here. Brooks, kick us off. What's a performance you want to highlight? So many great characters, so many great performances. There's so many to choose from. Brooks, I want you to go first.
Well, I mean, I don't feel bad about taking a good one because there's so many good ones, but I'll go for Gandalf. Ian McKellen, he's great in this role. I'd heard that Christopher Lee had been actually promised the role of Gandalf originally, but they ended up
the only member of the cast who ever met Tolkien.
Yeah. He was and Christopher Lee was a huge Tolkien fan too. But I think Christopher Lee works a lot better as Saruman than Gandalf. McKellen has that kind of warmth to him. I think that Christopher Lee may have been able to, but Christopher Lee's association with villainous kind of characters like Dracula and Count Dooku kind of make him more suitable for Saruman. I think. I wish we'd have had more Saruman, to be honest. But he doesn't have as much time in the books either.
Yeah, but, Christopher Lee actually decided not to do Gandalf because he felt he was too old and not lively enough to do it anymore. Right? And then him and Ian actually wound up formulating a very strong friendship from this movie. Yeah, so that was
masterful performances. I love that fucking duke out they have at where they're just slapping each other around, bro.
The wizard fight.
The wizard battle.
Oh yeah,
that's around the floor.
That's a great pick, Brooks. I remember my first introduction to Ian McKellen was Apt Pupil. Brian Singer
with what's the young actor's name, bro?
And then of course X-Men with Bryan Singer, and then this movie and other movies he's been in. But after looking at a little bit more of his career, not too much more prior to this, but Gods and Monsters, where he plays James Whale, might be my favorite fucking performance from Ian McKellen. What about you, Link? Good. What's a performance you want to highlight?
Oh man, so many.
Oh yeah, that's Brad Renfro, bro.
Yeah, Brad Renfro. Thank you, Jelani. Shit, the Black Power.
I keep forgetting.
But this man, shout out to Sean
the only
Bean.
Black man on the panel. They have to say
Sean Bean as Bromir is a very. I really enjoyed him, but I'm gonna go with Sean Ashton as Sam. I really liked the quiet strength he conveyed. He was not loud, but the first to act on many occasions. Didn't let that size shit or anything that he wasn't a warrior. Like when Frodo gets snatched up and shit, he's the first to alert everybody, and then the first to act in slicing Frodo down. And it's even the heartfelt moment at the end when he's like, he had a mission, bro. He's gonna die, he succeed in his mission or die trying. Even if he couldn't swim, he was gonna drown, unfortunately. But yeah,
He's just
Sean-
fucking. By the way, when he did that, me and my girl were like, "What the fuck? He's just sinking. What's he doing? He's just like giving
Swim,
up.
man.
He's
he didn't know how to
giving up, bro.
swim. He doesn't know what to do.
He's not even trying, Brand. He's not even trying.
But yeah, I Sean Ashton in particular, just because I remember seeing these runs of films and then seeing him in 30 Days a Night shortly after Return of the King came out, and I was like, what a jump. You're gonna go from some semi, well, it's it's a role of gravitas, seriousness, to the I'm not on the deuce. Like, if you know the character in 30 Days a Night, he had like a lisp and it was like roided up and shit. It was like, but it always stood out to me. Sean Ashton, the Goonies, he's just attached to so many great things.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He's
His
a
sound.
Stranger Things.
Major shout out
Yeah,
to Rudy.
yes.
Rudy.
Yes.
Joe, what about you? What's the performance you want to highlight?
You know what? I'll go for a little, maybe a slight curveball, maybe one that people aren't going to pick, because she's probably a little further down the list, but Kate Blanchett as Galadriel.
You motherfucker. You picked mine, man.
That was mine.
Good.
That's like
good.
right there. Like, that's mine.
Yep.
Okay. I'll let you
Yeah,
have
no,
it. It's fine.
because, and I'm probably going to say what you would have said, so enjoy. Her narration in the beginning is what seals this movie. If that didn't work, if that didn't suck in the audience and get everyone on board, I don't know if people like get into the mood for a movie this long.
Mhm.
I don't know if that happens. Like, she kills it with that opening narration. And I mean, her conversation between that and her conversation with Frodo, which are really her two big scenes. The gift giving too, but like,
Yeah, gift giving's awesome.
The gift giving's awesome, but when
Which is
she
only in the
goes,
extended cut, right? The gift giving stuff.
Yeah.
I think, right?
I'd have
Yeah.
got that hair. I'd be like, yeah, you give me that hair.
The 3 locks.
Gimli got sprung, dude.
yeah, but when
Oh,
she
yeah.
He was
shows
like,
up-
show
Big time.
wing.
She bad.
She gave
He was
me
like,
3.
She bad.
But yeah, her showing off her strength to Frodo and still like resisting the ring ultimately and all that, like Gandalf didn't display his strength like that when he was
Yeah,
rejecting the ring.
Yeah.
Like, she got scary,
She
and
did get scary. That was awesome.
that was
CG.
incredible. So yeah, I'm going with Kate Blanchett.
That's Joe. That's exactly what I would have said. Like, that is
That's
my
why-
favorite moment of the movie.
Yeah.
So,
As soon as I said that and you said that, I was like, well, I know why, and this is
that's why me and Joe are homies, because we
Yeah.
both are fucking terrified and also in awe of Galadriel. But I feel that way about Kate Blanchett in any movie she's in. To be
Yeah.
honest, I watch
No, she's
Elizabeth
Hannah.
and I'm just like,
Hannah.
whatever you
She's
want,
awesome.
queen. Like, you're my queen. Like, whatever the fuck you want. Speaking of
And,
queens, what about you, Fable? What about you? What's a performance you want to highlight?
I don't know. I think Gandalf got pretty scary like twice in this fucking movie. When he
Do not
turned
think
shit
you
dark.
would be Tundra.
Don't you
She
put
got
that evil on
scary,
the
but
bottom.
I meant specifically not towards Frodo.
She literally like changed colors and had those glowing
did.
eyes and
She's
shit.
like,
All shall worship me.
Who's coming at you?
Worship me.
Yeah,
that's
Bilbo did
badass,
too.
dude.
That was awesome.
I feel like every time I walk into work, I want to be like that.
In place of a Dark Lord, you'd have a queen.
Yeah, Kate Blanchett was fantastic. So there's so many Vigo. I mean, you can just pick off. But I'm gonna give it to Liv Tyler as Erwin. Man,
Tyler,
when
you can't
she-
go wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, when she comes in, bro, and she's all about it, man. She's beautiful. She's powerful. She's ride or die. I love her energy in this film.
She's literally ride or die, bro.
Yeah,
Lovely. That horse
She's
that
like-
scene, bro, is so epic, dog. Man.
yeah. She just swept me away as soon as I saw her. Like, God damn. I know why Aragorn is sprung for her.
Yeah.
Shit.
It's great that they gave her like more to do in the movie because in the book she's basically a name. Arwen is just a name in the book.
Yeah.
Like, you know, she
Oh
doesn't have anything.
wow.
Yeah.
So in the
Yeah,
in
when
the,
she was,
the movie, they actually
I mean, you should Liv
brought
Tyler.
the
You
role.
got she's a
They give her
fox,
the
you know, you
story
gotta-
of Baron
Yeah,
and the
100%.
other elf, right? They give them
Luthen.
that kind of story.
And
okay.
what came out first, Armageddon or this?
Armageddon.
Armageddon.
That was like
Armageddon,
98.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well,
You
man.
shouldn't have the fucking Ben Affleck Michael Bay movie.
Why don't we just train some?
Why have we never
astronauts?
done that movie? Oh my god!
That
we
movie
wanna
is
do
Yo,
that.
awesome.
sign me up for Armageddon,
Yeah,
bro.
we gotta do
And
You know
the
what?
fucking
Cruise
Deep
choice this
Impact.
year might be like everybody's got to pick a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah.
I'm so
I'm just
down. The
saying.
Island, bro. The Island, underrated Michael Bay joint.
Yeah.
You know, we
amazing,
might
though.
actually be able to fit that in the fucking Cruise choice, but I'm not going to do that.
Yes.
I'm not going to do that to you guys.
We
okay?
gotta do
Nor to
Armageddon,
myself.
100%.
A Bayformer movie.
But no,
Uh,
she's gorgeous. She you know, she steals her scenes. She's badass.
Yeah.
You know, I just love Erwin, man. I love her character, and I love Liv Tyler from this shit.
In the
you know?
special feature, she talks about her dad watching the movie, and her dad, who we know, of course, is Steven Tyler of Aerosmith, goes, "Who's doing your voice? That's insane." And she's like, "It's me, you dipshit."
You know what's crazy about that? There were moments where I was like, "Is someone doing voiceovers for Viggo Mortensen?" Like, but their accents and just
That's him.
I can. That's
Yeah.
such a testament to him as an actor. He's such. This movie really made because I was thinking of like Eastern Promises and fucking History of Violence and
Yeah.
not to go into Viggo Mortensen glaze, but he's
Yeah.
such a great actor, man. And this
He
was
is.
just he's
Yeah, because you had your pick for performance, and you
Yeah,
picked
I'm
somebody
sorry,
else.
I'm-
You picked
Yeah.
Samwise. Okay.
Sam was great. I stick by Sam.
as
Yeah.
hot as Liv was for a lot of the young men, I mean, Vigo was the shit. For the
Dreamy, man.
females.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
they
fucking-
went crazy for him.
He's
Sitting in the
also
fucking
dreamy
corner.
to some young men as well, bro. Let
Of
me
course,
tell you.
yeah, of
Okay.
course. Not leaving anybody out. The guy's a
Yeah, no
handsome dude.
shit. The only one
The
that I was
road.
like,
Fuck yeah.
I was like, I would never get with Gimli.
I
Or
mean, he's got like a
Boromir. Boromir
Wolverine
just
quality
feels
to
too-
him. Gimli, come on now. That's essentially
I couldn't trust
Wolverine, bro.
Boromir, but Legolas and fucking Aragorn, like, I don't know, man. I would feel comforted in their arms.
You know what surprised me about this film? Sorry to go into tangent. Legolas. Like I remember thinking he was so dope when I was younger, but he was such a minor. I don't.
So
he's
minor.
kind of there
minor.
in this fit now.
Yeah,
you know,
he
looking
does
back
more
on
in
it.
the other
He's
ones
just cool.
later.
Does cool shit.
He's
He doesn't
cool in the
really.
other ones.
Yeah, he has some dope ass scenes in
the
the
other
later
ones,
ones.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's
But
badass in this
how-
movie,
oh.
but he's like, I was watching this
He's
one
smart,
video
bro.
today where they were pointing out that Legolas only ever says one line in all of these movies. Like one fucking line, and that line
then
is
they
when
cut-
he goes, "I'll give you my bow." That's the only line he ever speaks to Frodo in all of
No
these
way.
movies. Yes,
No.
I'm serious.
He
It's
argues
crazy.
with
He's
Gimli most
crazy.
He does like a
hours.
lot of nodding and
Yeah.
shit. and-
Yeah.
He does,
yeah,
he does.
like-
And then he shows up to do all this fucking weird CG crowd surfing shit in fucking the Hobbit movies, but we're not talking about those.
He did that. in
Delaney,
Yeah.
what's a performance to highlight?
Jesus. Okay, well, most of them are already taken because two of them I was gonna pick.
are they?
But it's all good. It's all good because I got mine. I'm gonna go with Saruman with Christopher Lee.
Fuck
He
you.
was awesome. That fight with him and Gandalf is one of the best fight scenes
yeah.
I've ever seen with wizards and staffs. Like,
Second only to They Live.
oh yeah, you know, damn it.
Oh yeah.
But man, that fight, yeah, he spin him around. He had both staffs. He was gonna fuck some shit up. I loved that scene. I love him more than Two Towers, of course. But this movie where he's just like he's showing him the eyes, showing him everything. He's like, wait, how do you know all this?
Uh-huh.
Like, damn, you involved. I'd have known right then. So I'm seeing why it took 17 years for Gandalf to be, trapped with him and on the thing. Christopher Lee plays him so well. He's just one of those, like, he's one of them dudes, man. It's
He
just
really
the presence.
is. Yeah.
He has what the kids call the aura of an actual
Join
villain.
him, Gandalf.
The Riz, he has the Riz.
Yeah, he's got that riz. It works for him. I liked the way he commands the orcs and how he told the story of how an orc is made. It's just he's so evil, and it's like you couldn't. I hate when Gandalf got there. I was like, you can't tell he evil. I mean, come on, bro. Look at him. Like you see him, right?
Even like his
Look at
name
this
is
dude,
like,
he's evil.
like by,
Look at him.
it might be a coincidence, but Sauron,
Sauron,
they're just like,
yeah.
Oh, it's all intentional. Like Tolkien was a linguist, and he created all these languages, and language is a big deal. So Sauron, that connection is very much.
shout out to Uncanny X-Men.
Well,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
and
the-
Sauron, yeah, dude. Chris Claremont, get the fuck out of here, right? You know, this dude is like prime age when these books were coming out in the 50s. You know what I'm saying? And fuck. Next time I have to do a fucking boring ass panel with Chris Claremont, I'll start talking to him about Lord of the Rings. You guys just really you really helped me out. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Right? I really do. Because it's like every year I'm like, oh, I got to do another one with Chris Claremont. Another one. Anyway, lots of great performances taken. Real quick, we've talked about Viggo Mortensen as Aragorn, Strider in this movie. I remember calling him Strider, and Brooks would always be like, Aragorn.
It's Aragorn.
And I'd be like,
Capcom has Strider.
Strider.
Aragorn.
His name is Strider. The action figure says Strider right here, right? But like, no, what's crazy is they cast Stuart Townsend in that role, and they were filming, and Peter Jackson goes, this ain't right. So they bring Viggo in, and they're already filming, and he has to jump right in, learn sword fighting, and get into the role. He's never read the books, right? So he reads the books, gets into the character. Phenomenal. Galadriel's my favorite, but Hugo Weaving as Elrond deserves a shout out as well, I think, because he's really there just to kind of like do a lot of exposition bits, right? But he does it so well. And they cast him before The Matrix came out, bro. So like they didn't even know how. And Hugo Weaving, like we've been robbed, I think, of not as much Hugo Weaving as we truly
Absolutely.
True.
Shout out.
style and structure.
You should've
I'll start
stayed
real
Red
quick.
Skull.
Especially after V for Vendetta.
V for Vendetta, yeah,
V for
man.
Vendetta.
20-year anniversary,
Think
bro.
of a performance done solely by voice outside of anything animation and outside of better than Claude Rains and The Invisible Man. It's
Yes.
Hugo Weaving in
Yeah.
V for Vendetta, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Same level performance, style and structure. I'll kick us off. Style, like the movie fucking looks great. And I remember at the time saying to people, we live in a world where the director of Dead Alive is doing Lord of the Rings. The director of The Evil Dead is doing Spider-Man. The director of The Usual Suspects is doing X-Men. We are truly in a great age for nerd fiction on the big screen, right? And I stand by that, man. Peter Jackson brings a different sensibility than somebody like, say, I don't know, Steven Spielberg or Robert Zemeckis. Like one of those kind of guys would have done this movie way different. Even a Ridley Scott would have done this movie differently.
Gladiator. Look at Gladiator, bro. That's
Which
around that
is a great film. I love it.
Yeah.
But like Peter Jackson, I think like he's the perfect director for this movie. The vision, the amount of detail. You have all watched the special features. I don't need to get into it. The practical mixed with the CG, it works. There are moments in the movie. The only thing that really bothered me, there's moments of like the compositing these shots together where you're like, it looks too obvious, right?
The tentacle
But
monster.
at the time it didn't. And there's so much that like the Balrog and all that shit still looks so good. Right. And it like blows my fucking mind how good this movie looks when I can watch some movies from 5 years ago, Marvel, that look terrible. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they look terrible compared to this. And the structure, I like it. I do think it kind of speeds up a little bit once the Fellowship forms and they have to go through a lot of time really quickly. to get where they're going. That's the only thing I noticed in the structure this time. I've never thought about it like that, but at the same time, that's pretty high.
Yeah.
So that being said, I think style is perfection in this movie. The special effects, practical and CG, Weta Workshop, all this shit, the shit they had to create to make this fucking movie, the structure of it, like I mean, once again, props to Bob Shea and New Line for definitely understanding this movie needed to be 3 movies and to give them this extended cut. And like, I can't believe they made these movies for less than 100 million each. That blows my fucking mind. Even at
Over
this
20
time,
years ago.
blows my fucking mind. I think style and structure are actually supremely awesome. And if I had to knock anything off the movie, it might be that some of the compositing effects don't work and hold up. And that's basically it. Jelani, what about you? Style and structure.
This movie is too long. We need to shave like, I don't know, 35 minutes off
I knew
this
again.
film. And it would be great. It would be fantastic. Now, I wouldn't change a damn thing about this film. It is stylish as fuck. The orcs are the cleanest things in this movie, and that's saying a lot.
Orcs are so dope looking, yeah.
They're
And what are they called? The Urukai or whatever? Like
The Urukai.
Yeah, the Urukai.
Oh, that dude's so scary, dude. If
He's
I
so
was
scary.
7 years old watching this movie, I'd be shitting myself, dude.
Scared the shit out of me.
Especially
and your
with Sean
main weapon
Bean.
is a bow and arrow. What the fuck,
Coward.
bro?
Coward.
How you gonna use that as big as you are? Huh? Yeah. They looked awesome. His face, the fact they put their handprints on there. Oh my
Yeah, that was
god. It is just they look so clean. The fellowship, all of their capes, all them capes was clean as fuck with the little brooch thing on the
Pens
front.
and shit, yeah.
That shit was clean as fuck, man. I love all the costumes in this. Gimli.
All this PCP movie night crew should get a fucking cloak and a
Oh,
pen.
PCP
Yeah.
pen.
The leaf pin, yeah, I want one of those.
Hell
Let's
yeah.
fucking do it, man. At least get a
shit's so
pen.
clean.
Provide your own cloak, but we'll provide the pen.
Yeah. It's so cool. I like the scaling with the hobbits. I don't know who mentioned that before.
Yeah,
I
forced
love all of
perspective and
that.
shit like
It's
that. Dude.
awesome. It is
Yeah.
so well shot. Everything is gorgeous, man. Everything. The Balrog scares the shit out of me now. I was like, wow. Like it's almost coming because something that big is coming at me. You got me, bro.
Shadow and
got me.
flame, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, you got flames, you got a super sword, and you got a whip. Oh, your life is over. You're pretty much a wrap. You shall not pass. It is not. It's so clean how the CG looked for that. Like I was saying before, the tentacle monster is off. I don't know what it is. It's the comparison of it being at night, and it's the tentacles. Something about the tentacles didn't look right to be at night to work. They didn't make practical effects for that scene. You could tell some of it was just like, it's shoddy. It's really shoddy.
I love that fucking Hydra.
I still love it. Don't listen.
Yeah, for me, to be honest, I feel like the sunset scenes, like with Sam and when they're in the backdrop of the mountains and shit, that's where it throws me off. But it's like
it
I don't
throws you
mind
off,
the tentacle monster, like
I like
but
this.
I mean, I still like it. No, don't get me wrong with
No,
that.
yeah.
It's a minor nitpick. I'm
Yeah,
just saying, like in that scene, I could tell that the tentacles weren't
kind of
there.
takes you out. Yeah,
And it takes me out of it.
yeah,
It's one of the few bits that doesn't age as well.
yeah.
That is the greatest, but it still works. It
Yeah.
still feels scary and impactful and worth it. It's so many little things in this movie that are brilliant. Like I wouldn't even thought of this. Thought of those through the film. And I'm still going back to the orcs because the orcs are the most impressive thing about all 3 of these movies. They make each orc is individual to itself. Like they made an orc a different orc. Like they made it a point to do that. There, you don't get and of course they use the digital mapping to make them larger and whatever in the fights. But I loved how in the special editions where they're telling you how they made each orc very different from the other. Like you'd expect them to kind of look the same, but they're not. and it's so impressive to me that they got that far and took the time to do it, because you're not going to see all these things, especially in all three movies, especially in all these war and battle scenes. You're not going to see all that, but you feel it anyway because of the texturing, the way they make it in this film, especially when they're hunting the Fellowship in the woods, and the fight with Boromir, which is still like, that still gets me, bro. He gets hit the first time and he's still fighting, and he gets hit the second time and he's still going. This shit is so clean. I'm like, he go out like a boss. He knew he fucked up. He really knew he fucked up. So it feels it all of those scenes, all of the pacing of this film, for me it doesn't drag because you're still in it. You're still with these guys. You're still walking. It's still 3 movies of people walking, and it's it keeps you enthralled, and it's worth your time and effort for each piece of it. The style and the structure are clean. No notes. No notes past what I said.
The answer cannabis, they did do all 3 together back to back. They kept doing them. What about you, Fable? Style and structure.
I mean, I can't really add too much. I like I said, Weta Workshop really put their stamp on Hollywood when they made this movie, from set design, special effects. Like Delaney said, those orcs, they look like roaches. Mm-hmm. They were crawling on walls where they came. You know what I mean? They're just scary looking. One of the few movies that I can think of outside of like The Dark Crystal that brings fantasy to reality. Like, you see these paintings from Frazetta, you see these paintings of fantasy things with elves and orcs and fairies and shit like that. Like, this shit is that come to life. It's gorgeous. When you go to Rivendell, I mean, have you ever seen something so beautiful? You know what I mean? Rivendell looks amazing.
I want to live in Rivendell.
Yeah, with the trees and the fucking the bed that Frodo was on. Like, who sculpted that just for that fucking scene? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and 2 of their designers were big Tolkien artists, like Joe Howe and what's the other guy, Alan Lee, I think. Like that's really significant too. I think.
Fucking swords, how rusty and shitty they were. Down to the, like you said, the leaf pins and the little chain thing that Liv Tyler gives to Vigo. You know what I mean?
That thing's great too.
Thing is beautiful. Just amazing art design, costume design, style is off the charts. I'm not gonna say much more than that.
And some of those sets they built twice in different scales.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, model work.
That's insane, man.
The model work is fucking fantastic. Fucking Saruman's tower. We can go on and on about all that shit. And pacing, and like you guys said, you're there. Like you said, Jelani, it's 3 hours, and I don't give a shit. I'm on this journey with these people. I'm stuck. I'm glued. Take me on this journey. Yeah, that's it. Great.
Oh yeah, Joe, style and structure. What you think?
I think to add to this, I'll say the movie knows exactly how to divvy up its time. The scenes that need to breathe, that really need to be slow and focus on those character moments, breathe how they need to. And the moments that can just sort of be more or less a montage, like, the creation of the Uruk-hai and stuff, like that's all done in just sort of the right way. You could easily do this movie spending too little or too much time on any particular set of scenes, and you drag this movie down. So I think it's really incredible that they understood that going into this. And the narration in the beginning, setting up with the prologue, but not giving you all the information. Like, you're still learning information from that prologue, and you're filling in the gaps of it throughout, which is nice because, going back to, I think Robbie was the one saying this was like the best sort of prologue of a movie, like a prologue narration ever, really. That's part of why. Almost even some of my favorite movies ever, like Blade Runner, there's nothing in the prologue that's really like that gets fleshed out further as it goes in the way that you get here.
Just basic setup.
Yeah, and things that you wouldn't even have thought of. Like you thought you knew the story, but that you get these new facts filled in. So yeah, just
I honestly think Blade Runner would work without that prologue. Like
yeah,
this.
yeah. The narration.
I think it would too.
Everything it tells you, you learn.
Mm-hmm.
But that movie never trusted the audience. Never.
No, it didn't.
Right?
No, it didn't. It hates you.
No, it didn't. But yeah, I'll let other people go to it. So.
All right, great points, Joe. I love that, especially when you said Robbie said something really profound. That was great.
Yeah.
What about you, Link? Style and structure. What do you think?
And style, I found myself oftentimes through many, like 95% of this movie, like, oh, I would like to visit there. You know, the world feels so lived in. And that's just a testament to the production design. Even, man, you're saying I would like to go and visit, like the, you know, when they're setting up the Fellowship of the Ring initially, and they've got their little round table and shit. It's like, yeah, clearly that's CGI, but it's like, for that to have been like 20 plus years ago, I think that it looks tremendously better than Marvel's last movie from last year, or any of the movies, you know. Not
Dude,
to,
and I get
love
what you're
Marvel.
saying, dude. I want to go visit Lothlorien. That's my next vacation. I got to go to like. Is there an Airbnb?
Yes. I want to go stay in fucking the Bilbo's the Baggins house.
Does anybody want a Hobbit house? I do.
Yeah. Yes. I remember hearing.
I fit the Hobbit house would be perfect.
Peter Jackson said he took one of the, I think it was the Baggins house for like, and I totally understand why he would keep that now. Like, bro, I would go there just to like chill out and shit, just like smoke some of the Shire grass, you know, vibe out, try to connect creatively.
I love that fucking moment where Saruman looks at Gandalf and he goes, "That halfling's leaf weed is
the leaf. You've been smoking too much."
And I'm like, it is weed, man. I told you it was weed, man.
Funny about that line is it actually is from the like Tolkien's other material. Like Saruman is always getting on Gandalf's case
for smoking and shit.
How about you up to smoke?
But then Saruman is hoarding that shit. Right, and you see it in the next movies where like Pip and Merry find his hidden stash of fucking pipe weed. Oh, whatever, it's good shit, man.
But you know, structure wise, it's just on par with the style. Like, you know, I can't find this. Even I love Titanic, and even I did that movie at times. I find myself like, all right, let's get to the parts I want to see. This extended cut it's 3 hours and 20 minutes. Let's be technical. Fucking phenomenal.
They get longer.
Yeah. They handle it well. They handle it well. And Hydra and Cannabis, by the way, yes, thank you. It was 50 First Dates. That's the movie I was thinking of earlier with Adam Sandler and
with Sean Astin being all like the jocked up fucking guy.
What you talking about? What you talking about? Yeah.
What do you think about the style and structure of this film?
Yeah, like I think they like Peter Jackson's style works really well in this movie. Like, you know, I'd never heard of Peter Jackson before these movies, but when I learned that he had like a history in like horror and kind of more gory movies, I was like, I see it, because like it's kind of sprinkled a little bit throughout these movies. Like, you know, you'll have decapitations and like kind of all kinds of crazy, like even there's the scene with Galadriel where it like zooms in on her eyes. You know, they're doing the kind of horror zoom thing. So yeah, like, you know, it's like you can tell like he really cares about, like, you know, he cares about the story that he's telling, and like, you know, he uses like uses a lot of the concept art and stuff. Like, you know, Lord of the Rings is like such as a book series has like been so influential in the fantasy like world. Like, you know, not just amongst like literature, but art too. You know, artists have been inspired and like, you know, made a lot of pieces based on it. And Jackson uses a lot of that to influence his designs. Like, you know, the orcs all look great. You know, I love the practical makeup they use on them. Like, you know, yeah, like y'all were saying, like everyone's an individual. You got the little cringy guy that's hunched over, and you got the big old buff ass Urkai guys. It's like this movie, like it. I think why the reason it's so beloved and why it was such a hit is because it took what it was doing seriously, and the money went into making the movie look as good as they can, and and also telling the best story they could with what they
Fuck
had.
yeah, dude. Hell
They
yeah.
never do that anymore.
Which
That's
is
a
why,
lost
like,
art.
like people don't whine as much about the extended editions and oh, they're gonna cram even more into this like long ass movie because the extended stuff actually does help flesh out the movie. It does add
Mhm.
just that little bit more. It doesn't feel like it's just jammed in there, like it's unnecessary shit that they were just, it was just for padding time. Like the scenes they put in, like actually fill in a lot of the gaps and make the story more whole. So like, yeah, it was like, it's an impressive feat, this movie. Like, and it really paved the way for the idea that you can make this kind of a fantasy epic. Because at the time, like, that genre was pretty much dead. And this movie, like, breathed a whole new life into it.
Mhm.
What's crazy is that if you look at this movie and Spider-Man, a 1-2 punch from one year to another that really cemented nerd culture as pop culture again.
And it's like
right?
X-Men, then this movie, and then Spider-Man.
Yeah, and but in particular,
done.
Peter Jackson, Sam Raimi, these are dudes who in the 70s, 80s were making movies on their own and wound up helming these giant franchises.
Yeah.
That's insane to me. And we still live in that era, but it's not quite the same because everybody can make a movie now. If they and if you wanted to. But it's insane. So let's talk about the music. Howard Shore did the score of all 3 films. You know me, I love movie music. You know what I'm going to say? This is one of the most brilliant scores of all time. It's brilliant. It's great. Everything has its own theme. The Ring has a theme, right? And it's 9 notes because there's 9 members of the Fellowship, which that's also 9 notes. And then there's 9 rings of power given to 9 people. There's like, what the fuck, Howard Shore? Like, they didn't pay you enough to think this hard about the fucking music, but he did. And the Shire has a theme. The Fellowship has their theme. You have the Lothlorien music, to me, is like the fucking best. It's like heartbreakingly beautiful, right? If that makes sense. The Rivendell music is beautiful. And it all works together. And there are moments where, like, as the Fellowship is breaking down, the theme is breaking down and it gets weaker and it goes from less trumpets to more strings, slow strings, shit like that. Get the fuck out of here. I love the music. You can listen to it on its own. It's incredible. In fact, I dare you tonight, before you go to sleep, go, Alexa, Siri, whatever the fuck it is, play Fellowship of the Ring music score as I fall asleep, because it is a fucking beautiful score. Brooks, what do you think?
It's funny that you should say that because, like, for the longest time, like, I would, before I go to sleep, I'd had all of the soundtracks, and I would put one of them in on repeat and fall asleep to it. So, like, the soundtrack to these movies is like is burned into my mind, like, like it stands out more for me, like, like you're saying, all the themes, the Fellowship theme, dun 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 dun. The Shire theme, da, 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 like all these themes, like I know them, and like when I hear them, it it stimulates my brain. Like, oh shit, like, dun, 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 dun. The orcs are dun, 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 dun. Like, yeah, it's like it's great. It is a great soundtrack. Like, one of the best scores, I think, maybe of all time. Like, I can't think of very many like film scores that I would place like, as high as this one. It's just so perfect. Like, all the themes fit, like the moods, like you say, the Fellowship theme kind of breaks down over time, just like the Fellowship does. Like, just Howard Shore, just like everybody who worked on this movie, like put their all
Yep.
into it. Like there's no half-ass anything in this movie. And like the soundtrack is like, and there's even they did a song, I think Enya did a song for this one.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the movie, but it's in the credits, I think. It's called Even Star or something like that. Like, yeah, every movie also has like a kind of
Y'all didn't watch
not
the
a pop
credits.
song, but like a mainstream artist kind of song.
Yeah.
at the
Yeah.
end.
20 minutes.
It is.
Hell yeah. I love that. Link, what do you think about the music of the film?
I can't articulate it better than Brooks. It did its job. You know, even at the beginning, that it gives that very homely welcome feel with the Shire and like the flute music it's playing. It's very pleasant. You know, the music is very good at emoting the emotions they're trying to get across the film. Like, speaking of Bromir, shout out to him. When he comes in and saves Mary, and I can't remember the other dude's name, but during that
Pip?
scene, like
Pippin?
that's what is it?
Pip?
Pip, yes, Mary and Pip,
Pip, yeah.
with from the orcs, you know, after he just got done fucking trying to take the ring from Frodo, like that
And it's
scene. where-
Boromir, not Bromir. I think you keep saying
Boromir.
Bromir.
I'm trying to roll. I'm trying to roll it.
Boromir.
Boromir. But
What's
no,
up,
yeah,
Bromir? That's why if I ever meet Sean Bean, I'm gonna be like, "What's up, Bromir?
What's up, Bromir? Yeah, bro. What's up, bro? But no, that scene, you know, it's the music is very good at hitting the emotional cues they're aiming for, and it's, you know, it's such a, like Brooke said, like everybody brought their A game to this movie, like from the extras to the sound guy, production designers. Like there's no detail or stone that was left unturned when it came to crafting this film, and it shows.
Hell yeah. And I swear to God, y'all, if you go to bed tonight and you want to do the Lord of the Rings music challenge, do the Lothlorien theme. There's like a 15-minute version of it on YouTube or something. There's tons of those YouTube videos where it's just like a scene that's slightly animated, probably AI like made with music. I watch those a lot, especially when I'm on drugs. But like those things are so fun. And Lothlorien, oh my God, dude. That music is like, I don't know. That feels like the heartbreak of humanity is what that music feels like to me. I love it. Joe, what about you? What do you think about the music in the film?
No, I mean, the music's absolutely timeless. So many pieces of the score are just so memorable, and you immediately recall them. It's hard to think of too many movies outside of, I don't know, maybe Star Wars, a couple of other things where like the music is so immediately recognizable. So close to the franchise. It's like you listen to this stuff and then you listen to like the Avengers theme song and you're like, what the fuck? You know?
It's the theme song you don't remember until you hear it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I guess
that's
this is
the
the Avengers theme. Yeah.
God.
You know, but with this, it's like immediately, and like, which is a crazy feat because like I was at the opera over the weekend while I was in Chicago to see a production of Pagliacci, and now that has recognizable music in it as well, and it's, you know, over 125 years old or whatever at this point, like 130 something years old. And that's very impressive. But here, it's like I'm remembering the whole thing is just so ingrained, you know, sort of in my mind, you know. So yeah, I think that's was really the only way I was going to sneak into talking about the opera into this show.
I was about to be like, now Joe's like, I was in Chicago, I went to the opera.
I saw.
And we were talking about Howard fucking Shore. He was there sitting next to me at the opera, and he's like, "This is better than Lord of the Rings, man." What about you, Fable? What do you think about the music?
Music is fantastic. This is the kind of score that I miss. You guys said they don't make them like this anymore. They don't make them like this anymore with these kind of scores. This is the kind of music that Greg was saying he hates, Robbie, remember?
Yes.
This is exactly what I meant when I said I miss this. I miss this kind of music. And furthermore, the kind of music they're playing, the Celtic kind of, you know what I mean? Ireland, Irish kind of thing going on. the high alto singing, the angelic shit that they
Yeah,
do in this
the
movie.
ethereal choral
Yeah,
nature of it,
fucking
right?
just
Which
touches me.
reflects the idea that Tolkien had about giving basically Great Britain back a lost mythology, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of this video game called The Witcher 3. I don't know if any of you have ever played this game. But that game has this kind of music in it, and it's part of the reason why I love that game. But I didn't make that connection until I rewatched these movies. It's like,
This
one
is
done.
Skyrim. Witcher 3
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
And it's part of the reason I'm so enthralled with Skyrim and Witcher and those kind of games is, but this movie did it so many years before, right? Like, so no, fantastic score.
Oh yeah. Jelani, thoughts on the music?
Yeah, the score is beautiful. It's brilliant. It's made for this movie. It's traveling music. It gets you, if you're gonna do a walk, this is the music.
Why not?
that you
Yeah, hell
probably put
yeah.
on.
The journey,
This
bro.
is some journey. This is some journeyman music. It takes you to places it's supposed to. It goes along with the pacing of the film, which really wraps around really well. I loved it all. Like I said, I watched the credits. I watched all 20 minutes of the credits. That soundtrack was fire too. It works with this movie. All the movies have great music. It's all done by the same guy. It all works.
I love what you said when you said the music takes you there.
It does. It
Like,
really
yeah,
does.
it really fucking does, man.
It puts you in the Shire. It puts you, in Rivendell. It gives you that feeling that you're where you're supposed to be at this time because of this music. It's very ethereal in places as well. It's scary when it needs to be, when the Balrog shows up. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, all
it
the
is.
Isengard music has this like edge to it.
It's
just like
edge to it.
the
Yeah,
design.
it's
Yeah,
very nice. Yeah, I mean, we've glazed it enough. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
fucking
This is what we're doing tonight, man.
It's earned it, bro. It's earned
All right.
it. though.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah, for sure.
Peter Jackson, why didn't you do that with the Hobbit? You just could have done with the Hobbit, be fine. Oh, sorry.
He was kind of
It's
done. I
fine.
think he was spin after this movie because let's be honest. I like his King Kong, but it ain't
No,
all that.
it's
You know
I
what I'm
like.
saying?
I think it's.
It's good,
man,
but it ain't
it's-
all that, man.
No,
It's not
yeah,
good.
that's
Yeah.
fair.
And
Jack
what has he
Black
done
killing
since? And you know
everything.
what?
Idiot.
Honestly, if I was Peter Jackson, what the fuck would I do? I'd be like, I made Lord of the Rings, bitches. Like,
He was typecast. He was typecast as a director. He said,
You gotta
"Shit,
do
I gotta go
awesome
back."
stuff.
And I
Probably
kind of
was.
respect what he did with that. So he wasn't supposed to initially be the director of the Hobbit films. That was supposed to be Guillermo del Toro,
yeah, Del
and
Toro.
it
Yeah.
fell through. And so at least he saw it through. Like, you got to give him that
Yeah.
much credit.
Yeah, but you gotta have.
But
that
he's
same
kind of doing the
love.
same thing. Even with King Kong, he's like, we'll make a long ass movie
Yeah,
based on a classic property, then we'll release an extended cut. It just feels like
I did think.
and
3
The
movies
Hobbit
was
should
too
never have
much.
been 3 films.
Yeah, I was like
Whatever.
2 at the most.
We're
2
not
at
talking about The
yeah.
Hobbit tonight. We'll talk about The Hobbit maybe 5 years from now.
yeah. We're not stuff to do.
November of 2030, maybe we'll do The
Probably.
Hobbit. We here at
Or
Pop
just do the
Culture
cartoon.
Philosophers, we like to you dig a little bit deeper. So, Jelani, what is this movie speaking to you? Many themes in this movie, in this story. What do you pull out of Fellowship in particular?
It's all the same themes, man. I love this. It's basic as fuck. It's like the balance of good and evil and the power of friendship. We're trying to make a coalition of good to stop the evil that is Sauron from taking over the fucking world and covering evil. How do we do this? Well, this kid named Frodo Baggins now picked up a ring that is calling to that monster, and we have to destroy it. It is one of those things, and it is the power of friendship, because the Fellowship of the Rings is all about friendship, except Boromir, who's a piece of shit until he's not. People give Boromir a lot of problems. But
Bro, if they
Boromir
would have
was-
all done a Care Bear stare at the end of this
Boromir
movie,
was a
there would have been
bro.
no other 2
Yeah.
movies.
The power
Yeah.
of friendship. They
True.
would have become
Yes.
bronies.
Yeah,
Bro,
man.
it would have
It'd
been
been a
okay.
wrap.
Hey man, he was a good
Yeah.
man. It's just that fucking ring, bro.
The ring
That
career, yeah.
That
Yeah,
ring,
ring
bro.
fucked
Even
you
he
up, man.
It's that
recognized it.
ring.
And here's the thing:
Borman is
the
an example
ring.
of how corrosive the ring is.
Exactly,
How
and the whole
corrupting
point
it
is
Yeah.
the ring would have gotten to all of them. That's why
All of
Frodo had to
them.
go on his own.
Yep.
Yeah,
Frodo couldn't take
Boromir
it.
was just the
Right.
He
weakest
really
to
wasn't,
begin with.
bro.
That's it.
Yeah,
It would have gotten
That's
to
it.
Gimli. It would have gotten to Legolas. It would have gotten.
It
In
would
fact,
gotten to Aragorn.
Galadriel, when she's saying the ring's danger to Frodo, she, in particular, with her eyes and everything she's saying, is
Looking
pointing
at it.
more towards Boromir and Aragorn.
Mhm.
Right? Like
Because they're
they're
there's-
men.
humans.
That's
Yeah.
why you got to
men.
give it to Bilbo because Bilbo had it for 60 years.
But my man
Michael
was
didn't
turning
tell
it
it.
into fucking.
He was
What's
turning
it?
an evil monster.
Yeah,
I know,
did you see his
but
face?
Ah!
all these other people, it took them in a few fucking seconds. Like they looked at the
Right.
ring and was
Oh,
like,
yeah,
fuck.
yeah.
Bilbo
Yeah.
had it for 60 years and
Before
just
it.
at
It didn't
the
do nothing
end,
with it.
he started
That's-
being like that.
Gollum-
Yeah.
That's why
Gollum
he was
had it for
apologizing to
300.
fucking Frodo,
You know?
where he was.
But in the beginning of the movie, he talks about
Yeah,
how he's feeling stretched thin and shit like
Yeah.
that, right? It's like
Yeah.
slowly getting
Yeah.
to him though.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
It's kind of hinted that hobbits aren't as affected by the ring's power because that their concept of power
They're so content.
is so different.
Well,
Yeah.
from,
unless
you
you're
know,
Smeagol, because Bilbo and Smeagol are different. Like
That's true. That's
Mhm.
for
true.
instance, like they're okay. We're talking about theme, and Jelani, I love what you said, friendship and good and evil and all that shit, and it is
basic as
very
fuck.
much right. Hero's journey, shit like
still
that,
valid.
right? But there is the idea of like mercy, as opposed to conquering, or what? I don't know what the opposite of mercy is, but no mercy
Compassion.
versus mercy, right? Like where what like the idea of like
Oh.
when Smeagol got the ring, he kills the dude for the ring.
Mhm.
When Bilbo gets the ring from Gollum, he like has pity on him and doesn't kill him. And that's something that Gandalf says. Like, do not
was pity that stayed
judge
Bilbo's
Bilbo
hand.
for his mercy or something, right? Like
Okay.
Yeah.
you don't know what's like how much this movie's about fate too, right? And how everybody's actions correlate to each other.
Right.
Hey, but what about you? What are you pulling out of this movie? What's the theme?
I mean, I think Jelani gives us the overall theme. If you do all three movies, good, evil, friendship, all that stuff. But I think this film in particular, if you just take it, just this film, things about sacrifice.
Mhm.
I think everybody in this film, every character sacrifices something
Mhm.
in order to make something happen. Frodo, probably the most, right? Because he has to leave his friends, and he's all broken up about it, but he is willing to make that sacrifice in order to complete this journey that was given to him. And he says, "I wish I never got the ring."
Mhm.
And Gandalf's, they go to Gandalf's speech, and he totally it reforges his resolve to do this. But every character in this movie sacrifices something. Gandalf literally sacrificed himself to make this happen. Yeah. So yeah, that's what I pulled out of it in particular on this watch through that I don't think I've pulled out of this movie until now. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Joe, what about you? What's the theme?
Well, I mean, the obviously the obvious ones that were mentioned, and there's other obvious ones here, and to just sort of embellish a bit on one of those themes that's very clear here is it's kind of a movie about like male tenderness and vulnerability and toxic masculinity and all of that. I mean, this is obviously a movie where those who don't have the true virtues of a man are like the most susceptible in a lot of ways. And like, Boromir falls because of his jealousy and pride and all that. And Aragon, who's shown throughout as being a more noble person and who more, personifies what it means to be like a man is more resilient against the ring. And I think that with just all of the just the interconnections of all the different relationships here, they're very open and vulnerable with each other, and all have respect for each other, and it's done in a way you normally don't see in a lot of movies, really, which I'm sure is in part sticking to like the source material and all of that, but you would think that sort of stuff wouldn't have been quite as widespread throughout the movies if someone else was doing it. This might also just go to Peter Jackson's directing. Maybe if someone else did that, they wouldn't have highlighted that stuff. But I think it's part of what makes these movies special too.
Oh yeah, I like that. What about you, Link?
Many themes, like many great themes, like many great characters. It's standing strong in the face of adversity. Is a core theme. The whole task of them with the ring itself is almost monumental. It's almost like a suicide mission, but they're steadfast. They dive into it. Even Frodo at the beginning, it's like when they're all fucking bickering, he's not the man most equipped for the job, but he's like, fucking, I'll do it. Sam, when there's many occasions where Sam, he's not the man equipped for the job, but he makes the sacrifice. Even Bromir, our bro, fucking
Bro, here,
Bro,
man.
when those
simply
orcs come
walking to
calling, bro,
Bromir?
like he just, he could have fucking hidden in the shadows. He makes the ultimate sacrifice. Gandalf, like you guys have stated, is making a sacrifice, but they're steadfast in their mission to see that successful. And I think there's something to be said for that. When the odds are against you and you stay your course.
Fuck yeah, I like that. Brooks, what about you, man? You're the Tolkien scholar of the panel. What's this movie saying to you?
Well, I think a big thing of this movie in particular is that the call to adventure isn't always a choice. Like in The Hobbit, it was like, basically Gandalf had to trick Bilbo to get out on his adventure. But in Frodo's case, like it's bigger than that. Like his adventure is bigger than Bilbo's. The stakes are higher. There's this thing that threatens like the entire world, and the Shire is this kind of idyllic place where they don't know much about the outside world. They don't know what the people down in Gondor have to deal with orcs and all this stuff. They're so far removed. But the idea of the ring is like if Sauron and the ring are reunited, like the Shire won't be safe. Like nowhere will be safe. Like that's the whole threat of the ring is like if it gets back to Sauron, there's like nothing, like not even like Gandalf or Galadriel or Elrond would be able to stop him if he got back to his full power. And it's like the elves are like obviously something that everybody has a lot of reverence for. Tolkien he loved elves. His elves, like that was his thing. Like they're portrayed as like these like impossibly beautiful and impossibly powerful beings. And like kind of the sad part of the Lord of the Rings is that their time is ending. Like they came to Middle Earth like a long time ago because of like some stuff with some magic rocks and like some other nonsense. But now it's their time to leave. But they still like the thing about the elves is that even though they come from like a land beyond Earth, they have a deep connection and a love for the Earth. And so like they know they have to leave, but they want to leave knowing that the world is like in good hands, like that Sauron's no longer a threat. And like Frodo ends up being just the only guy who can do that job. Like he ends up being like he doesn't have a choice. Like he can't lay it down. Like if he does, like if Frodo doesn't agree to take the ring either ends up with like Boromir possibly, and he becomes Sauron, and it's like Frodo does not have a choice, and it's like Frodo is like an incredibly lame character character in these movies because, like, the burden of the ring is just constantly weighing him down. He's always stumbling. Like, he never gets to do anything cool.
Every
Frodo
5
just
minutes,
seems-
he's like, I wish I would have never found this ring.
He got
and it
stabbed
just
twice in this
No
progressively
movie.
shit,
worse.
bro. Me too, man. Like,
Like, it's progressively worse as the movies go on. Like, he just gets more and more like haggard and worn down. And like, it's like without Sam, like Sam's the real hero of the trilogy, like when it comes down to it. But like Frodo he's important too. Like, Sam and Frodo are like the two most important characters in these movies. And they're both like, from a race of people who see like adventure and, going out as like, we don't do that. Hobbits do not do adventures. Like, that's why I feel like I'm a hobbit a lot of times because, like, I just want to sit
Same, bro.
home, smoke weed, maybe drink some beer, and chill out. But yeah, like but in order to keep that that idyllic peace, somebody has to go out and
Make a sacrifice.
take care of business.
Yeah.
The call to adventure. You can't always just say no.
yeah,
Sometimes,
and if you go out beyond your sphere of influence, sometimes you find out they come in
yeah,
pints.
I want one.
like, and then like you meet, he would have never met Gimli or Legolas or like Galadriel. He would never have seen all these like wonderful things too. Even though he's burdened with this thing. Like there are like positive aspects to the adventure too. Even though like the stakes are so high, it is still like a fun adventure in a way. Less for Frodo than the rest, but
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the way it goes.
I love what everybody has
The
said
ring is a
here.
burden.
Everybody has been spot on. I will basically say what Brooks said and everybody else said. The way I will frame it is this. It's about the responsibility of the individual to fellowship.
Yeah.
Right? It's about how what's going on in the world, even though, and I have been very guilty of this lately. Brooks and Jelani know this for certain. I've been very guilty of being like, you know what? I got my PCP studio. I got my little apartment. I got my girl's place. Like, I got my little hobbit holes. I'm comfortable. Give me good food. Give me good shire weed and give me good drink. And I'm comfortable, right? I have no responsibility to the rest of the world or to anybody else. But this movie is talking about you do have a responsibility, first of all, to your immediate community, to other communities. That's what the Fellowship of the Ring is. Like, they intentionally had to have a representative from the dwarves and the elves and the humans, right? And then the hobbits were in the midst of all that. But you also, collectively, we have a responsibility to our world, to what's going on. And man, watching this movie made me go, you know what, Robbie? I get that everything sucks. It really does on all sides of things, but we have a responsibility to ourselves, but also to each other, to our communities, and to our world, right? And like Brooks said, the call to adventure sometimes is not a choice. I don't think that's the choice. We have a responsibility as individuals to fellowship. We are responsible for being there for other people. And I think that's something I really pick up off of this movie in particular. All right, time to rate this film out of 5 possible ya digs. You out there in the chat, what do you give The Fellowship of the Ring? Brooks, kick us off here on the panel. What do you rate this film?
Oh, gee, God, tough one, man. Yeah, this movie's a 5 for me. Like, spoiler alert, they're all 5s. But like, this movie, it is a perfect beginning for this franchise. Like, it's a good strong start. They got everything right. Like, and like this movie's success is the reason we got the rest of the trilogy. And like, yeah, it's like it's a very important movie. I think, like, not just for like fantasy cinema, but cinema in general. It really kind of changed the landscape for what a kind of like a big budget blockbuster could be. and its effects have have stayed around, and it's kind of I think movies have kind of cheapened a little since this one. Like we were saying. Like,
Oh yeah.
Some crazy
cut a lot of corners.
fucking way. They were spending more money on them than ever, and they look worse than
Yeah.
ever.
Oh,
Crazy.
talk about it. Talk about it.
Yeah, but this movie is like,
And
it's
if
a pro-
anybody's like watched the special features, you know how much
yeah,
was
Time
put
and
into this
effort.
movie. It's
Beautiful.
crazy.
Because they
course,
get
there's
the
so
all the
much, like,
wrong
there's
messages.
everything
They're
they
like,
did
"It's
was
a
marvelous."
4-hour movie. Let's fucking
Mhm.
spend $300 million on special effects. They got the wrong fucking message.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's CG everything. Let's
Yeah.
not put practical effects in anything. Let's make a shit story with a cheap director. Let's get actors with big budget. We
The
pay these
antithesis
actors all
of
this
Lord of the
money and
Rings.
don't give them a script to work with.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's awful now.
I do think Del Toro still works that way. I really enjoyed Frankenstein, for instance.
Yes,
gotta
that's
watch
the
that.
movie that
Yeah.
reminded me of the
watch
production. Like it, man,
Yeah.
that movie.
But Del
was-
Toro's always done that, right? Like him and
Yeah.
Jackson always had that idea of like
You gotta have
CG is there
practical
to supplement,
to
Yeah.
enhance
Right.
a little bit.
right?
Yep.
So a
I'm
perfect score
you
from
can't do
Brooks.
everything practically, but you can't do everything CGI too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you need
Right.
to know when you got to use your
It's a
practical
balance.
and when to use your CGI.
Yep.
Hell yeah. A 5 from Brooks. What about you, Link?
Man, the edgelord in me just wants to like. And this is a 5. I wanted just to like say
Yeah.
4 or something or 3. Just no, I can't do that. All respect to this movie, a landmark in filmmaking, in art. Yeah, this 5 all day.
Hell yeah. All right. Joe?
Oops, all 5s. They're all 5. But today we're just going to talk about this 5, and I'm giving Fellowship a 5.
All right. I can dig that. Fable?
Yeah, like, you can't go lower than a 5. You can only go more than a 5 if possible.
Yeah.
Not only because of how good the movie is and how much we love it and stuff like that and all that nerd shit, but also because of, I mean, we all owe kind of like a little debt of gratitude to Peter Jackson because he made it cool to be us.
Mhm.
And
Validated it.
you know, like
I never made that connection
Dude.
before, before you and then Joe mentioned it. Like
Yeah.
I never made that connection.
he turned the tide. Not to say there wasn't nerd shit before it, but
Yeah.
like Joe had said, you know, like
It legitimacy.
Batman
Some
came
respect.
out.
Nobody in
Some
high
respect on his
school
name.
thought it was cool that I liked the Phantom.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah, Billy Zane was the bomb in the Phantom,
Slam
though,
evil.
you know.
Yeah. Joe said it. Batman came out and you were still a fucking nerd.
Yep,
You know
exactly.
what I'm saying? And then
You could
this
wear a
shit comes
Batman
out,
shirt though, and that was cool. But anything else, like, yeah.
Then
Yeah.
this shit comes out and like jocks are going to go try to find Lord of the Rings at Barnes and Nobles. You know what I'm saying?
You're
Mhm.
goddamn wearing
Yeah.
Hobbit ears and shit.
So you know, based on just how good it is and cultural impact, it's got to be a 5, if not more.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
5s across the board so far. What about you, Jelani? We also got 5s across the board in the chat, man.
Yeah, dude. Oh, this film is important. This film is grandiose. It sets off one of the greatest trilogies ever made. It cements Peter Jackson as a fantastic director, but you know, he still fucks up a lot of shit later. Hobbit being one of them. But it's still the fact that it's that much of a cultural impact. It's that much in the zeitgeist still. The fact that I can still watch this movie and still feel emotion towards it, and to make it feel like I didn't leave the theater in 2001 feeling the same way, that it's consistently awesome. So of course it's a 5. Duh, it's a 5. Why the fuck are we glazing it so hard when we know this stuff? It's a fucking 5.
I'm right there with everybody else. It's a 5. It's a perfect movie to me. It's to do exactly what it was trying to do. There may be some special effects, some compositing things that don't quite work or hold up today. But that is not the fault of this movie at the time that it was made. It's incredibly ambitious for very little. This is almost, honestly, if you look at this movie for its scale, it's kind of like the indie level of its scale. And it kind of is an indie picture because it was Peter Jackson and his company that had sold, like, they were given the movie, they were given the money to make this fucking movie or these movies, and it worked. It worked so incredibly well. But
yeah,
shit, who's that?
Robbie, take care of that one.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Deuces, George Lincoln.
Get the fuck out of here.
Sorry, I didn't notice that I was rambling.
Sorry.
I think it's absolutely brilliant, and I love the themes. I love the style. It's so important, the level of detail put into this movie, the sense of camaraderie that not only the movie has within its own characters, but the sense of camaraderie and community that the movie brings out in us talking about it tonight. And every time I talk about it with people, this is something that is so much, to me, important for humanity. I don't know. I think this movie's awesome. 5, ya digs. So there you go. That's 5 from everybody. That's a PCP average of 5 ya digs. Perfect movie. We'll see if this love fest continues next week. Because next week we are going to be talking about, oddly enough, The Two Towers. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, next week here on PCP Movie Night. The week after, The Return of the King. The week after that will be White Christmas. And the week after that will be Black Christmas.
Transitions.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, some good. So I think that's a good lineup for the rest of the year. And then we got a great lineup for January and February and March and April. And hasn't been revealed to the public yet. But these dudes here on the panel have seen it. And I think they're liking it. So we're very excited for PCP Movie Night. Jelani, thank you so much for being here. Final thoughts. What you got coming up?
Yeah, thanks for having me. I didn't give you any thumbnails today because we haven't done any real videos yet. But prepare yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, because that gentleman there, that's the Tolkien freak, he's got a house full of toys we're going to show off. So sometime this month, we are going to have a Brooks house tour. Brooks, prepare
Brooks, hold on a
yourself,
second. Brooks, you still got that fucking Lord of the Rings Burger King fucking like circle set or whatever the fuck it was?
Brooks,
They had the ring in the middle.
Have to show
I have
that
it
shit
somewhere,
off.
but I don't have it out right now. Maybe I should dig it up.
they used to run like this ad in like probably all early 2000s comics. I remember specifically more Marvel, but like it was like do you have all those Lord of the Rings they used to advertise in those pages? Like, do you have?
Yeah, like they all came with little stands with like a little thing you pressed on. It said a different thing, and they connected to like the ring centerpiece. And my sister got them for me because she worked at Burger King at the time. And she got the display set when they were done with it.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
So
yeah, we're hopefully, Brooks, you will have that ready for the house tour we're gonna do in about 2 weeks.
It sounds like
ready,
Jelani just sprung that on you.
No, he's been told. I'm just telling y'all too. We're getting ready for it. Plus, we got videos out on our channel, Go Figure Reviews, one of which is the Mary Jane Iron Spider from Magic the Gathering. She is pretty awesome. And of course, if I'm gonna spoil it, this might be my figure of the year. This is gonna be lovely.
Yeah, I love that.
Gargantos, which is the Shumagorath. I don't know. He's my favorite thing so far out of the set because he's just so damn lovable. He can't stop attaching to my face. So yeah, guys, check us out. Check that video out. Check all our others out. Check, of course, the house tours out. At Go Figure Reviews, we do toys. That's what we do.
Hell yeah. Fable, thank you for being here. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts is thank you, Robbie, for continuing PCP Movie Night. I know you're trying to figure out how to scale down a little bit, and I totally understand. But PCP Movie Night is so great, and it's one of my happy places. I get to hang out with you guys. So thank you for keeping this.
Don't worry. PCP Movie Night is safe, man. Don't worry about it.
Thank you for letting us glaze over this one. The circle jerk continues next week. Monday.
Because next week it's going to be the same circle jerk, but this time plus Gollum.
But yeah, man, catch me on Pop Culture Philosophers for the foreseeable future. Next year we got some plans, but I'm ready to talk about that yet. So yeah, come join us next Monday, man, as this continues.
Hell yeah. Joe, thank you for being here. Final thoughts?
Thank you. Yeah. You can still get the same stuff I've had. I mentioned on here before. King Arthur, Knights Justice, Volumes 1 and 2. DC Pride to the Farthest Reaches. You can still get like Beckstar, Dolly in the Dark, She Said Destroy, Never Ending Party, whatever. Get them if you want. And then
Oh, shit.
on YouTube right now, I am an extra in this web series Boys Club, episode 5, which just hit on there today, called Dating Wall. It's I am prominently featured in the background in like at least 3 shots. Just saying.
Hell yeah, I gotta check that out, man. Send me the link, bro.
I will.
Hell yeah. Fuck yeah. Link, thank you for being here. Final thoughts?
Of course, my pleasure. Thank you for throwing this. I gotta add this one to the docket. Like Joe, I made this an annual watch. So mad I haven't watched this in so long. Yeah, but this Thursday we'll be covering a movie that's similar ilk, Frankenstein, Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, over at Blood Splatter Chatter with our brother Verno. And Friday we're a little behind, but we'll be over at Geeks Unleashed with our brother Mark. We'll be reviewing Marvel Zombies, the series. I think he's just now seen it, so that's why we're covering it just now. But I'm still looking forward to talking about it again. Covered it with Verno, but yeah. It's gonna be fun.
Oh yeah, Frankenstein on Blood Splatter Chatter. Very excited for
that.
Yes, you'll love it.
That was a good one. That was a good movie.
I liked it. I gave it a 4.5.
Nice.
Yeah, that's what I gave it.
I want to watch it.
Oscar Isaac, super hot.
Can't
Frankenstein monster, super hot for some reason.
He surprised me. Jacob Elordi, I've known of him
in the book. The monster is described as being beautiful, but like still dead and something unnerving about it. And I think they executed
that. Yeah.
Like, yeah, dude. Like I fucking loved it, dude.
Okay.
They made some changes from the book. I think it rushed the third act
a little bit.
I honestly feel the movie could have been 3 hours long. I want an extended edition of Frankenstein. Brooks, thank you so much for being here. I know you love this story, these movies, this writer, this world. It's an honor to have you here for this, sir. This is for you, my friend. So, final thoughts.
The fate has brought us all together. We shall be the Fellowship of the Lord of the Rings.
It would have been so perfect if he would have just seriously just froze up right there and just say, all right. For my final thoughts, I appreciate everybody being here. Be sure to join us next week as we talk about the Two Towers. The Circle Jerk continues. Check out my thoughts on the Frankenstein movie. That's dropped on the channel already. I also had a conversation with Tad Stones, creator of Darkwing Duck, and Greg Weisman, creator of Gargoyles. That was great, and I had a great conversation with MJ Comics over at MJ Comics. So go check that out. PCP Movie Night's going on. For my final thoughts, I'll just say, one does not...